Hey, it's Kobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this video breakdown, we're going to take a look at 3 different blitz setups from a play out of the nickel 3-3 odd that's going to bring pressure on a quarterback. It's either going to come through the A gap or it's going to come from the outside, and we can either get it down to a 5-man pass rush or a 4-man pass rush. The name of the defense that we use for this video breakdown is the nickel 3-3 odd Hot Blitz Bell. Here are the playbooks you can find this play out of. Before I actually get to showing the blitz setups out of the nickel 3-3 odd Hot Blitz Bell, let's take a look at the default pass coverages and pass rush assignments. Now with this particular defense, just like any other hot blitz, you're going to have 5 defenders that are going to be dropping back in zone coverage. So here you go with this. You can see right there, you got those 3 guys dropping back into 3 deep. Now, obviously, if you want, you can change up the coverage shell and all that, or do some different things. I'm not going to do it for the video breakdown. Just notice you can do that. And then obviously you have these 2 guys right here, which is going to be your 2 defenders playing the curl routes underneath. And then you end up having all these defenders here. You're going to have 6 defenders coming after the quarterback as you look at your screen here. So those are the 6. Now, with this particular defense, as you can imagine, with the 6-man pass rush, you're going to get pressure on the quarterback. And right there, you can see that we get it even with the running back staying in the pass block. So right there, it's nice to get there, but without making any adjustments. Now, the cool thing about this, you can still pretty much get the same pass rush that I'm showing here, but with only a 5-man pass rush. We could even get it down a little less to that. We can actually get it down to a 4-man pass rush and still get that. And that's what I want to show in this video breakdown. The first blitz setup that I want to show out of the nickel 3-3 odd Hot Blitz Bell is pretty simple to do. First thing you want to do is to spread the defensive line out. You want to take control of this guy right here. And what you're going to do here at this point is call QB contain. Now that's really up to you. I like to call QB contain to try to prevent the quarterback from rolling out. And then what you want to do is you want to allow him to come up a couple yards up. And then you want to either drop him back, say into a hook zone in that area there, maybe into the flat as you look at your screen there. Or you could also drop them back into a curl flat. So that's really it as far as this setup, at least the initial one I'm about to show here. So let's go ahead and run this. And you just allow them to come up a couple yards, and you're just looking to get that inside pressure there as you look at it. So you can see the coverages are pretty decent right there. You go from a 5-man blitz to a 6-man blitz to a 5-man blitz, and you still get that pressure on the quarterback. So again, you just want to spread the defensive line out, call QB contain, bring that guy a little bit inside, such as what I'm showing on the screen. Let him come up a couple yards, and then you're simply going to drop him back. Now, he may not always get in, but most of the time he does. And that's what you're going to do as far as getting that pressure on the quarterback. Let's run it one more time just so you guys can see it. Again, spread the defensive line out. Bring this guy inside a little bit. Call QB contain. Here's your setup right there. That's how easy this setup is. And then right there, you're going to get that pressure on the quarterback. So that's kind of nice right there. Let's go on to the second setup. The second blitz setup that I want to look at out of the nickel 3-3 odd Hot Blitz Bell is pretty simple. It's basically it's the same setup for the most part, where you're going to spread the defensive line out. You're going to bring this guy a little bit inside, call QB contain, but you do want to switch off to this guy right here. At least initially, you're going to put him into a bluff blitz, and then you just simply want to switch back to that guy right there. And then you're going to do the same thing I talked about earlier. You're going to allow him to come up a couple yards, and you can just drop him back into coverage as you so choose right there, and you still get pressure on the quarterback. So that's pretty nice. Let's go into the X and O's of the play and take a look at this one. From the all-22 and instant replay, we can get a better idea exactly how the X and O's of this particular play called the nickel 3-3 odd Hot Blitz Bell works. And as I said before, what we're trying to do is turn this into a 4-man pass rush. Now, I can't always guarantee every single time it's going to get in. If the running back were to stay in pass block, he's probably going to pick this up. You're also going to notice as we go through this, there's going to be some coverage issues, especially over here on the bunch side. As you look at your screen, you're going to have all kinds of guys that may get open. There's some things you can do to adjust to that, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But at any rate, as we go through this one, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to get this pressure right here coming through the A gap from this linebacker shooting in that area there. So that's the idea of this. But what we want to do is we don't want to have those 6 pass rushers. We want to try to get this down to 4 pass rushers. And that was the idea of this blitz. So you got these guys here, and what we're trying to do, we're just trying to get those 4 to come after the quarterback, such as you see on your screen. So let's go ahead and go through this real quick again. If you guys remember right, what I did here is I put this guy into a bluff blitz. I've also got QB contain on, so I've got this guy in QB contain here. I've got this one in QB contain, and I'm going to be taking control of that guy right there, the one that's in QB contain, after I put that into a bluff blitz. So this end is actually going to be playing the 3 receiver hook, so he'll be dropping back. If the running back were to go out, he would actually go out and cover him, since he's on that side of the field to cover him as you look at it as we go through this. So let's go ahead and continue through it. And right there, as you look, what I was talking about earlier, you can see right here, I've got this guy, the one I'm in control of right now. He's blitzing to the inside. At this point, he's going to be occupying this guy right here as you look at it. And the same thing over here, this tackle right here is looking to block this same defensive end, the one that we put in the bluff blitz. So he's initially at least looking to block him. The running back is even staying in the pass block at this point. Now he's going to release at some point. And then this guy right here, the one that we're looking to get pressure, is now shooting through this gap and applying that pressure up through the A gap as you look at your screen right there. So that's kind of nice. If I zoom out, this is where things get a little bit, more dicey as you look at the coverages. As I talked about earlier, you can really see that these three receivers are open on that side of the field. Now, what you might want to do, let's go ahead and rewind it here. Sorry if I'm losing my voice a little bit. What you might want to do if you got some time, as you look at this, you may want to move this guy. I'm going to show him to you in here in a second. This particular defender, if you got enough time, since the setup is pretty easy to do, you may want to slide him over a little bit. So rather than where he's lined up right there, you may want to slide him a little bit more over here if you got some time. That way he's dropping back into that area there. I just want to point that out. So you'd want to move this guy over, like this one right here. You'd want to move him somewhere over here before the snap, if you can. That's the idea of that. So that's what you do on that as far as trying to take that away. But again, right there, you can see the pressure is coming through the A gap, such as what I'm showing. Now, to the left side, obviously, there's nothing really open there. If they were to try to throw a quick pass, if your opponent was to try to throw a quick strike to this guy, more than likely, this guy right here would actually end up picking it off. I just want to point that out to you. So that would be there. The third and final blitz setup that I'm going to show out, the nickel 3-3 odd Hot Blitz Bell, is another one that's going to bring pressure on the quarterback, but rather than it coming from the A gap from this linebacker, you're looking to get outside pressure from that linebacker right there. Let's go ahead and set this one up. So you're going to spread the defensive line out. Next, you want to press right on the D-pad, and then you want to do show blitz. Now, it's going to bring those two linebackers up closer to the line of scrimmage, such as what you see on your screen. And then the next thing you want to do is you want to take control of this guy right here, bring him in just like you did before, put him in QB contain, and there's your setup right there. And as I pointed out earlier, the pressure is designed to come from this guy right here off the edge. So he's going to come up the field kind of in a straight angle as you look at it, and then eventually he'll work his way back over and get pressure on the quarterback. All right, so that's the setup right there. It's just a 5-man pass rush, but generally it's going to get some pressure on the quarterback. As you look right there, you get that pressure on the quarterback. So that's the way of setting that one up. I'll show you one other adjustment you can make with this setup. One other adjustment you can make as far as getting this edge pressure with this particular defense, this nickel 3-3 odd Hot Blitz Bells to do this setup. And it's very similar to what we just showed there. You're going to spread that defensive line out as you look at it. Next, you want to show blitz, but remember, you want to press right on the D-pad just to bring up the linebacker assignments. Hit the RB show blitz. That's going to bring those two linebackers up. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to call QB contain. You're going to bring this guy to the inside right here. You're going to switch off to this defender here. Now, this is what we did earlier in one of the other blitz setups I just showed. You want to put him into a bluff blitz, and then you're going to switch back to that guy right there, that same one that we've been blitzing off the edge, and then we take control of him. So here's the setup here. Now, sometimes you may end up getting some edge heat coming off the edge from this guy, which is what we did earlier, but you also may get some inside heat. It all depends on how the blocking shapes up with this. Let's go ahead and run this and take a look at it here. Right there, you see we got that inside pressure. Now, I can't guarantee you're always going to get that, but you may see that. So let's do it one more time here again. So you show, spread the defensive line out. You show blitz, call QB contain, bring that guy inside. You switch over to this guy right here, put him into a bluff blitz, move that guy somewhere in that area there. And then that's the setup right there. And here this time we got the edge pressure coming off the edge. So a couple things you can do with this. I just want to show that just turns that to more or less, a 4-man pass rush. If you're looking for a zone blitz out of the nickel 3-3 odd that brings either 5-man pressure or 4-man pressure, then this might be a defense you might want to check out. So I appreciate you guys watching this video breakdown. If you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe. If you guys are brand new, this is the kind of stuff that I like to do as far as when it comes to these type of breakdowns. I like to get into the details and really show you guys the X and O's behind the play. Don't forget to comment if you like this play. Please do that. It really helps out the channel when you guys are doing those type of things for me. Again, I appreciate you guys watching the video breakdown. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.